In this short video, I'm going to show you how to use the UIScrollView in your XCode project. So I have a basic project started here, and on the UI view, I'm going to put a component scroll view. So let's put that here. And what we'll do is we'll start with putting some constraints on this. Okay, so let's put some constraints. That should be okay. So 4 constraints and the scroll view is in place. Now straight away you'll notice that it's producing a couple of errors and it's saying that it can't work out the height and width, and that's because the scroll view doesn't have any components inside it. So that's why we're getting these errors. And if you click on information, then it gives you a bit more detail about how to fix. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a component inside the scroll view which will cover the basics so that the scroll view can understand how you want the scroll view to operate. So what we'll do is we'll put a UI view component in there. Okay, so let's put another UI view inside the scroll view, and what we'll do is I'll just put some constraints. Now, important thing is that whatever you put inside the scroll view, it needs to obviously pass the width and height information to scroll view. If the component is not doing that, then the scroll view can't figure out how to scroll the elements. So here I've got the view inside. Let's put some constraints. Important thing is when you're doing the constraint inside the scroll view, it must be to the scroll view and not to the frame layout. So here you can see I'm just correcting that to the scroll view. I'm not bothered about the exact positioning. I just want to make sure that all the constraints are with the scroll view. So I've done that now, and I'm just going to say add constraint. So we have applied 4 constraints to our view in relation to the scroll view, not in relation to the frame layout. So once we've done that, if you look at the errors, we still have 2 errors because we still haven't defined width or height. So let's fix the width part. So we can do that easily by right click onto our scroll view and creating a constraint between the scroll view and the view. And let's say, sorry, I think it was supposed to be from here. Yeah, from the view to the scroll view, and we want to make the width equal. Okay, when we do this, straight away you'll notice that the width has been resolved, but the height hasn't. So at this moment in time, if we want to just get rid of the errors, all we got to do is define height for this. Okay, so if I select that and put a height constraint on it, let's say we put a height constraint of 800, add that, you can see that the errors have gone away and our component is now scrollable. So we can now scroll this. Obviously, if you want to make it scroll more, then the content amount needs to be greater than the scroll area. So what we can do here, we can see on the view, we put a constraint of 800. Let's change that to 1800 and to that. And now you can see we've got a lot more scrolling going on. And so that's basically it. So you have to satisfy the width and height of a component inside a scroll view, and the constraints should be in relation to the scroll view for it to work. So what I'll do is I'll just delete the view. Let's see if we can put something else inside and make it scroll. So let's put a vertical stack. Okay, so we're going to put that inside the scroll view. So again, to start with, what we'll do is we will put it inside the component, line it up a little bit, and put some constraints. Again, important thing is not to the frame, but to the scroll view. That's where the constraints should be. So once we've applied the constraint to the scroll view, we add that, and let's see if any of them have been resolved. So you can see width and height has not been resolved. So if I just expand this, width is there, height is there. We still have issues on the scroll view because you can't figure out what the height and width should be of this component. So we select the stack view, right click, drop it again to the scroll view and just say equals width. As soon as we do that, our width should be resolved, as you can see, but the height hasn't. So what we could do, I guess, because stack view can stack components inside, we can put components inside and make it grow, and that will produce the height. So what we can do is let's put a button in there. Okay, so a button inside the stack view, and so now we have a button, and you can see the arrow's gone already, right? And because the button has a height, but let's give it a height of, let's say 60, make it a bit bigger. So you can see the button is bigger now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this button to, sorry, Control C, and then, oh, bad mistake. Let's just take all these buttons and put them underneath the stack. So they're inside the stack now, and they all have a width, okay? And on the stack, what we're going to do is we will say, let's make an equal spacing of about 20. What we're trying to do is putting more content in what the scrollable area is, and you can see there's no errors being produced in terms of the scroll view. And so at the moment, you can see that the stack view has got lots of components, and there's no errors. I think we need a few more buttons in there to make it. So let's do that. And if I now do the scrolling, you can see the scrolling works, and that's because the content inside the stack view has grown more, and there is a height element. Remember, the width element was satisfied by matching the width of stack view to the scroll, which is what we did here on the width side somewhere. There. So we match the width, and therefore it's not complaining about the width. But the height aspect is coming from the height of the element. So you can put pretty much anything inside scroll view which can give it back the height and width, and as long as the constraints are against the scroll view, it knows when the content gets bigger. So just to confirm that this is still working, what we'll do is we'll just quickly deploy and see the end result on an emulator. Let's do that and bring the emulator up. Okay, so what we're expecting to see is a scroll view, and it has a stack view inside with some buttons. It's not very well positioned, but the objective of this video is to show you that how the scrolling is working, and you can see it gives you that bouncy effect, and it can work out because we haven't done proper configuration of lining things up properly. So there's a bit of improvement that can be made, but you can see the scrolling is working. So that's effectively how you will take a scroll view, etc., and put some components inside. Hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching this video.